Well, good morning to everybody. We appreciate you, everybody being here. Obviously, we want to give a special welcome to our local media who are here. We appreciate what you guys do. Fantastic job of covering not only our university, but our athletics programs as well. This press conference looks a little different than what we've done in the past. Obviously, 2020 has done that to us, so we wanted to make sure as we prepared for this, we were doing our job of social distancing. I know a lot of people are watching this online. I can tell you everybody in here is wearing a mask right now except for me, and I'll put mine back on as soon as I'm done talking. But when Dr. Geis and our new AD comes up here, they'll take theirs off as well. That way everybody can hear what they're saying. Want to remind everybody, please, if you would at this time, if you've got a cell phone, put it on silent or vibrate if you haven't already done that. That way we are not interrupted during the press conference. Our order of events for today, I will introduce our university president momentarily. He will come up here, give his remarks, and then he will introduce our new director of athletics. Following our new director of athletics remarks, we will open it up for a Q&A with our local media. And then once that is over, then the press conference will be over. In the past, what we've done is we've allowed some one-on-ones with whether it's a head coach or an AD as well as our president, but we're not going to do that today. I've talked to our local media. Anybody who would like to do a one-on-one with our new director of athletics over the course of the next week or two, just feel free to reach out to me, and we will schedule those as his time allows. So at this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Louisiana Tech President, Dr. Les Geis.
Thank you, Malcolm. Well, I really appreciate all of you being here. I can't tell you how excited I am today when I see the opportunity before us here and I see all of our supporters, Mayor Ronnie Walker and Kay. Thanks so much for all that you do to work with Louisiana Tech to advance our university and our athletics program. Very grateful. This truly is a great day for Louisiana Tech athletics and a great day for Louisiana Tech University. And I'd like to begin by acknowledging the work of some people that helped us to get here today, just briefly, but very important roles. And first of all, Mary Kay Hungate, who has worn so many hats around here, been serving as our interim athletics director, worked with us on our search committee, and has been just doing a great job for us. Thank you, Mary Kay. Vice President Brooks Hull, who's been a bulldog in helping us with this search committee and make sure that we stayed on task and on focus to get to our goal, and it couldn't have done it without him. Dr. Donna Thomas, our faculty athletics representative, and the chair of our athletics council, who represents our academic as well as our athletics community in each and everything that she does every day. And Dean Sam Speed of our student advancement program that always represents our students and our campus community with class. And representing our community as well as our alumni is Steve Davison, who is always entrust his wisdom and his compassion for this university in helping us to arrive at the right decisions to move this university forward. You know, this pandemic has caused much disruption across our country, and athletics has certainly been at the center of that. COVID-19 has created safety and health challenges. It's impacted our athletic schedules and finances, recruitment and retention, and fan engagement, and so much more. And this crisis has certainly created challenges for us all. But it's also helped us to recognize new opportunities and to envision new ways to achieve our goals. When our athletics director position came open, I felt a sense of urgency to act swiftly. I also knew that we needed to complete a very thorough search process, and one that would lead to the successful conclusion of finding the next leader for Louisiana Tech athletics. We needed to find the right candidate, the right person for Tech at this time, not only for Tech athletics, but for their entire university and Tech family. Despite all of the challenges of doing a search in this process, we saw an opportunity to bring in someone special who could take our athletics program and our institution to the next level. And I think you'll see today that we seized just that opportunity. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the superb job that Tommy McClellan and his staff did over the past 7 years in building the Louisiana Tech brand and building so much of what you see, including this facility here today. And because of that, we received interest from all over the country, from East Coast to West Coast, from north to south, and an unbelievably strong pool of candidates. The committee and I developed a set of criteria and qualifications that we saw as essential for success in this position. And our athletics director had to demonstrate a strong understanding and commitment to accessibility, diversity, equity, and inclusion. The right candidate had to be committed to providing leadership throughout our campus and to engaging our campus community at a highest level. And I'm very pleased to say that we found that leader. Our new athletics director joins us after serving over 20 years in higher education and Division I athletics administration. He earned a Doctor of Education from the University of Arkansas while he was also serving there as an Associate Athletics Director and Deputy Title IX Coordinator. He was Director of Student Athlete Programs and Compliance for the Athletic Coast Conference, and he has experience at Wake Forest, New Haven, and Clemson, as well as with the NCAA office. Currently, he is Deputy Athletics Director for Competitive Excellence, I just like that title, and Senior AD at the University of Central Florida, where he administers operations for 16 varsity sports, over 200 employees, and over 400 student athletes. And he's worked very closely with University of Central Florida Vice President and Athletics Director Danny White to build one of the most successful athletics programs in the country, while also increasing their fundraising and academic performance. Now, I will tell you, Danny reached out to me and had some extremely positive things to say about Eric. He has great confidence in Eric and his ability to be successful as athletics director. And I appreciate Danny's investment in you, Eric, and his willingness to give you responsibility to prepare you for this day. And so I'm really grateful. And I know Danny wanted to be here today, but he had to do some fundraising today and could not be here. But I thought that was real important and very special to me. Our candidate has our new athletics director has a strong commitment to excellence in the classroom as well as on the playing field. And he was selected to serve on the Board of Trustees for his alma mater, Sacred Heart University. Last year, College AD selected him as one of 9 members of their Next Up 2019 class. Now, this designation is for individuals who have been identified as senior level administrators who are ready to take their place in the athletics director chair, leading their own departments. And I will tell you that our athletics director, out of that 9, there was only one of those that was from a non-P5 conference, and that's our new athletics director. And although the record of accomplishment that he has speaks for itself, it takes just one interaction with him to convince you that he's something that's really special, and that he's a dynamic and charismatic leader with a great deal of intelligence and a great deal of character. He has an incredible life story and shares an inspirational message of seizing opportunity where he could find it. A story of following the guidance of those who gave him the confidence and courage to pursue higher levels of education and responsibility. to understanding the transformational impact of higher education and athletics, and then committing himself to inspiring others to greatness. He'll undoubtedly lead Louisiana Tech athletics to greater heights as we win with respect and class and integrity. And our student athletes will be his highest priority, and he'll make the Tech family very proud. I'm asking him to do more. I'm asking him to assume an even greater responsibility, one that will not only have an transformational impact on our athletics program, but on our entire campus. So not only will he serve as Director of Athletics, but he becomes Tech's first athletics director to serve as a Vice President as well. And before I introduce him, I want to introduce his wife, Celia. So great to have you here, and your wonderful children, Eliana, Nia, Elisa, and Elijah, who's getting a nap. How about welcoming them to the Tech family? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud to introduce the next leader for athletics at Louisiana Tech University, Vice President and Director of Athletics, Dr. Eric Wood.
Oh, wow. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Geis, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be here with you this morning. First, let me take a minute to thank God for the blessing and the many blessings He continues to bestow upon me and upon my family. So powerful, so powerful. I also wanted to take a moment to share my condolences to the Dean family as I watched from afar back in Orlando how this community honored his Hall of Fame legacy on and off the field. And it gave me a glimpse into the emphasis on family I've been hearing about for the last 48 hours. Danny, if you're watching, I know you couldn't be here, and he was upset about it. Thank you for everything you've done for me and my family. I want you to know that Tommy and Jessica are here, and in true Tommy fashion, he wanted to stay away today because it was going to be about me and my family. But I've had the opportunity to serve with Tommy and develop a friendship with him over the last several years. And I'm sure you're not surprised that that's just the guy that he is. So I texted him really late last night, and then we talked again this morning, and I'm like, I need you there. I want you there, because he had been so accessible to me during this process. And so I want you to know that he didn't want to be here for me, but I've asked him to be here. So Jessica, Tommy, thank you for being here as well. I want to thank Lee. Lee, thank you for driving over and being here, and for everybody. Mayor, I didn't know you were going to be here, so I'm really fired up for that. Looking forward to developing a relationship with you. With that, I haven't slept very much, but I'm so fired up. I told Skip I had one more rep at kickoff if he needed me tomorrow night, if he needed me. But more importantly, I'm sincerely honored to be here with you this morning as the new Vice President and Director of Athletics at Louisiana Tech. Dr. Geis, thank you for putting your trust in me to lead this department and also to serve on your leadership team for the university as we pursue your vision of becoming the top public institution with an unparalleled integrated educational experience. Let me also take a moment to thank the chair, the search committee, Brooks Hull, and committee members, Steve Davison, Mary Kay Hungate, Dr. Donna Thomas, and Samuel Speed for their service. I was blown away, number one, by the combined years of history and ties to this university within those 6 people. something like over 200 years of connections to this university just on that search committee. But I was also blown away at their passion for Louisiana Tech athletics, and I simply wanted to become a part of that family. Mary Kay, where's Mary Kay? There she is. Mary Kay, I want to be sure to thank you for your service as interim athletics director. I believe, trying to do a little bit of research, this might have been your second time, maybe even your third, serving in this capacity, but you continue to step up for this department. And we thank you for your leadership on behalf of the coaches, the student athletes, our donors, our sponsors. Thank you for continuing to step up. And I can't wait to serve alongside you and have you download 35 years of history with me. So I'm looking forward to serving alongside with you. Thank you for your service. As Dr. Geist mentioned, I've had the opportunity to learn from some of the best in the business over the last 20 plus years in the ACC and the SEC and in the American Conference, and most recently with Danny White at UCF. I know this audience is familiar with the White family and their impact on college athletics, but I wanted to learn from one of the best fundraisers in the country, and he taught me the importance of sharing a vision, developing authentic relationships with our donors and our fan base and our sponsors, and I look forward to bringing that experience. Jeff Long is the AD who hired me at Arkansas and is currently the AD at Kansas. Jeff is the ultimate competitor. He wanted the student athletes to dominate on their respective playing fields, but he also wanted to compete in every area off the field as well. No matter what it was, if you were keeping score, he wanted to win. I will bring that competitive spirit with me. Shane Lyons hired me at the ACC and is currently the AD at West Virginia. From Shane, I learned about the importance of culture in the department. He was about family. He exemplified the ideal that people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And I'm bringing that relentless pursuit of a positive culture with me. Ron Wellman is the former AD at Wake Forest, and hopefully he's playing golf somewhere. He's enjoying retirement. But Ron was the consummate professional, epitome of class and integrity, and I plan to bring that with me to this opportunity. And Julie Cromer, while she didn't hire me, served as a mentor for me, currently the AD at Ohio University. Julie taught me the importance of collaboration and shared governance when you serve in an athletics department to ensure the athletic department operates in alignment with the university's mission, vision, and values. Rest assured, I'm bringing that experience with me as well. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Becky Bowman from Clemson, who gave me my first opportunity to be a graduate assistant in the compliance office. Debbie Chin at the University of New Haven, who's also retired. Debbie, I hope you're enjoying some golf and doing what you love to do, but Debbie took a chance on me as an intern and gave me my first full-time position at New Haven. So I wanted to make sure that I said thank you. But the sum of all those experiences, the sum of all of those relationships led to my leadership philosophy. And I've been able to just sort of package that into three things: culture, class, and competitive excellence. All of those things that I've brought from those relationships and those experiences working with those people. As it relates to culture, I want our student athletes and coaches and staff to feel appreciated and valued, and that they could come to work as their authentic selves and understand their impact on the mission at every level of the organization chart. I've been places where they have a mission statement, but I'm more keen to people being on mission. And that's at every level of the organizational chart. Number two, class. Again, for our student athletes, coaches, and staff to exhibit good sportsmanship and professionalism in every walk. And an understanding that when we take that uniform off or we take the actual lapel off, we still represent Louisiana Tech athletics. We still represent the city of Ruston, and we still represent the state of Louisiana. Whether we're wearing the lapel, we're wearing the uniform, we are representatives. And so I'm hoping that we have good sportsmanship and professionalism. And then finally, competitive excellence. Dr. Geist, we had a little fun with that title at UCF. But I want to compete in the classroom. And I want to compete using conference and national benchmarks for grade point average, for academic progress rate, for our graduation success rate. But we also want to compete for championships in every sport. So culture, class, and competitive excellence of what I've learned from some of the best in the business and what I hope to bring here to Ruston. To my coaches, colleagues, student athletes, and all of Knight Nation back in Orlando, what a ride. What a ride. I've never had more fun than my time as a Knight. 25 straight semesters of a 3.0 GPA, 7 above a 3.2, a 988 single year academic progress rate, 10 perfect 1,000s. You did that. We had fun doing that. Going from 0-12 in football to back-to-back undefeated seasons and 2 New Year's Six Bowls. First ever at-large bids to the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments, and 3 years in a row where every sport finished with a winning record and an appearance in the top 25. To all of you, I say keep charging on, and thank you for letting me be a part of that success. And finally, as we join our new family here at Louisiana Tech University, I want to thank the Chief Operating Officer of what we've called Wood Party of Six, my beautiful wife, Celia. I can't look at her. I won't make it through this right now. So my beautiful wife of 13 years, Celia Wood, I love you. I thank you for the sacrifices you've made that have allowed me to chase this dream. I share this day with you. I share this opportunity with you. To my children, 10-year-old Eliana, my almost 8-year-old Nia is coming up quickly, my 6-year-old Alyssa, and my 4-year-old Elijah. Get that nap in, buddy. Good job. I thank you for understanding the work-life balance when daddy's always on the phone. Just know that I appreciate you. Know that I'm here to serve you. Know that I want to be the example for you, for the husbands that you will eventually get to pick, and for my son to be a role model for you. We got a little spoiled last night. Know that Champ can't join us for dinner every night now, okay? All right? We'll see him plenty at events. For our student athletes and our coaches, we're going to be there. I've made the personal decision to not pursue professional athletics because I want them around our student athletes. They are role models. My wife is a former track and field student athlete. I had the opportunity to be a football student athlete. Of course, she would argue she was the better athlete, and I would agree. But we believe in the transferable skills. We believe in the disciplines that you learn as a student athlete. To my mother and mother-in-law who are watching, make sure I get that in. They're watching back online. We love you. We couldn't do it without you. It was a pleasure to be in Orlando with you for the last 5 years, but whenever you're ready to join us in Ruston, let me tell you, they're ready to. You want to experience the hospitality that we've experienced in the last 48 hours. So start packing up. So why La Tech? Quite honestly, it reminded me a little bit of UCF in a lot of ways. Number one, I believe in the university's mission of education and development of students, research, and public service. My mother was a hospital administrator. My dad was a school teacher. My stepfather was a police officer for 3 years and a corrections officer for 20. I'm the product of public servants and understand our responsibility to our city and the state of Louisiana. Number two, I love the bold vision of this place, of going from good to great, of responding to competition in the state and nationally. It reminds me a lot of where I'm coming from. And I like a place that has a little bit of a chip on its shoulder to do what others think is impossible. The academic success, as Tech student athletes are graduating at a higher rate than the student body, and over 200 of them on the commissioner's honor roll. And then the history of athletic success. I would agree, Dr. Geis, just following Tommy along, and watching Louisiana Tech, his leadership, what the coaches have accomplished, student athletes, if you're watching what you have accomplished, made this an attractive position. We were really comfortable in Orlando, really comfortable. You made this an attractive position. Thank you for your leadership again as student athletes, for doing what you do. And for our coaches, you are the way an AD can impact the student athlete experience. So we thank you for what you've been able to accomplish over the course of years in all sports. There are conference and national championships here. There are notable alums that have gone on to compete at the highest level in athletics and outside of athletics. I learned there were 72 former student athletes in the NFL with the likes of Terry Bradshaw and Willie Rowe, 7 in the NBA, including Karl Malone and Paul Millsap, among others, and 18 in the WNBA, names like Teresa Witherspoon and Cheryl Ford. I was like, I need to be there, right? David Segui as a New York guy growing up in Major League Baseball. This place can compete with the best of them if we all take ownership of taking it to the next level. A little bit about me. I shared with the committee that I chose to pursue the athletics director role because of the transformative power of higher education and the role it played in my life. As I'm reminded often by our international students, there's nothing like the intercollegiate athletics model. I believe in the transformative power of higher education. I believe in the transformative power of athletics. And when you get to serve as the athletics director, you get to live right at the intersection of those two things. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have it any other way. The intercollegiate athletics model is unique around the world. I get to combine my passions. My wife and I get to instill the values of education and sacrifice and integrity and teamwork from our student athlete experience. And we learn from our former student athletes, and I want nothing more than that same transformative experience for our student athletes. For our current student athletes, if you're watching, you will hear me say this a lot, but we need to compete. My top 3 priorities for you are to compete, compete, and compete. And compete in the classroom with graduation as our top priority. Compete to be a better version of yourselves as leaders. And compete to win championship rings. It all can happen. They are not mutually exclusive, and I firmly believe that. We want to continue to be a source of pride for the university, for our city and the state, and I will engage you, student athletes. I will engage you, coaches, and I will engage our senior leadership and all of our staff to get your feedback on how we go from good to great. To our former student athletes out there, we need you. I've had the opportunity to work with our Letterman's Club back at UCF, and I see the power of it when we get our former student athletes connected back. We need you. You will hear from me. Please make sure we have your most updated information so that we can keep you connected. Come back often. I want to hear about your stories when you were here in the 70s and 80s and 90s and however far back you go. I want to hear about the stories. I want to hear how excited you are. I want to see how excited you are about the new buildings that you didn't get a chance to participate in, the things you didn't have. But now how excited you are for our current student athletes. Share with us how you'd like to get more involved, how we can use your time and your talent. I want to meet you. The Louisiana Tech family, how can you help us? I know this COVID world is throwing everything off. But let's create a home field advantage when possible. I know we'll be at capacity restrictions in all of our venues, but let's get season tickets if you're in position to do that. And let's create a home field advantage for every one of our sports. Let's support the Louisiana Tech Athletics Club. I'll be making my pledge today so that you know I'm all in. I'll be making my 5-year pledge today. And then become an ambassador for our sports programs. Identify someone you know that's been on the sidelines and bring them along with you. With that, I just want to thank you for making time to be here today. I can't wait to get my family back down here in a couple of weeks to get started. And go Dogs. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we'll open up for questions from the media. Go ahead, Christian.
When studying the gig before you came here, what are some things you want to tackle first?
Well, as with any new position, you've got thoughts in your head, you have experiences from other places, but you have to listen. I need to sit back and listen. I need to get the download from Mary Kay as a interim athletics director, and had a chance to meet with our coaches. So I want to get with them and see what things are going well and where they may need my help. I want to get with our administration. I've got this Christian. It was right.
Yeah.
Christian, I've got this 100-day plan of attack. I'm going on offense. I'm not going to be reactive and just sort of wait for things to happen. It's a 100-day plan of attack, and I'll be aggressively seeking that input. But I don't know what I don't know yet. But while I was researching the gig, to use your phrase, I was thinking, why wouldn't I go take that job? The history of academic and athletic success made this a very attractive option for myself and my family, and we couldn't wait to see what Ruston looked like and get settled in as well. But we're going to look, we're going to learn, and we're going to listen and do a whole lot of that, but I'm going to be very proactive with my 100-day plan.
Yeah, one of the things that stood out about Central Florida, besides the winning, would be involvement, especially at the Valentine fan, unbelievable atmosphere, especially with the students.
Yeah.
How are y'all able to do that besides winning, get the student involvement? How does maybe some of that translate to us?
Winning helps for sure. But what we did was we created an environment that they wanted to be a part of. There were fun things. There were bounce houses and show dogs and music, and the environment around that was something where they wanted to be there early before kickoff, and then as we grew that brand, as our fan base and the student athletes and the students matured, we didn't have the leaving at halftime, and or we'd go up many points and they would take off, and so we engaged them. We created a nightmare section, right, and reached out to them and said, hey, we need some loyal students that will commit to being here regardless of who we play. It's easy to come for the big games when we had an opportunity to play 2 Power Fives a year, as our scheduling philosophy. It's easy to show up for those, and we want those. But we need you to show up for the other games and support our students. We were also very proactive in putting them on opposite sides too of the field. We had one student section, but we wanted that home field advantage on both sides, regardless of what direction our football team was going in. And so, we were very, proactive, going out to them, going to Greek life, and encouraging them. But the students can get involved when they know the student athletes, when they get a chance to hear from our coaches. And so, being proactive there as well and getting them out and getting our coaches and student athletes out to them as well.
How is your approach leadership-wise different with all the construction going on following the devastation
From the Florida.
from the tornadoes?
From the tornadoes, yeah. I'm going to get an opportunity today. We drove in a little bit, getting a quick tour, but we're going to get an opportunity today to walk around and actually put my eyes on where the devastation had happened. And we drove around town a little bit. I was praying for this, for the state, for the Lake Charles area, even just during the recruiting process, hoping that everybody was okay and that it was minimal. But I'm going to get the opportunity to walk around and see where the new facilities are going and when they're scheduled to be completed, where they were before. So I'm still downloading all of that, but I'm looking forward to just seeing how that's going to be, how our spring sports are going to be impacted for those that have construction projects that are ongoing. At a quick glance, they look fantastic. I think we're going to be able to compete with anybody in the conference as I familiarize myself with this conference. But again, I've been on 5 campuses. We've got some competitive facilities, and there'll be some that need work as well.
Corey? First of all, I want to say welcome to you and your family, welcome to Ruston.
Thank you.
I think for a lot of collegiate athletic fans, I think they know that UCF is kind of the benchmark and life. Could you expound a little more on the similarities that you've seen between UCF where you've been and Louisiana Tech?
So we were coming off, thank you for that question. We were coming off when the new administration arrived off that 0-12 season. And again, our basketballs hadn't been, they were an automatic qualifier in the A-Sun on the men's side back in 2005. So neither basketball program had an at-large bid. And I mean, we really had to start building our brand. We really had to start trying to engage the fan base. We really had to start finding out what our coaches were needing and finding creative ways to get there with a budget that, we were often competing with other programs that had, twice the amount of resources. And so I think we engaged our fans. I think we engaged in a real strong social media presence. We locked ourselves down as Orlando's hometown team. And again, I preface that with, that's what I'm saying. It took a whole village. You're in a large city like that. We really put a circle around a 12-mile radius and tried to treat it like a small town, college town feel. And so we don't have to do that. We've got everybody on board cheering for Louisiana Tech here. So, so that was our approach, and the result has been the only school in America, with a winning record over the last 3 years and an appearance in the top 25. That's all possible. That's all possible here. But we also had to have our fan base and our donor base mature with us. We had to move from this transactional giving to this philanthropic giving to all get what we want out of that, which was an awesome experience for our student athletes, entertainment for the community, and just a whole city locking arms around each other and and giving our teams a competitive advantage. So hope that answers your question.
Scott, I know you're going through a learning curve here.
Yes.
I get that, but you mentioned a 100-day plan. What do you see as your biggest challenge as you take this new role?
Yeah, I haven't worked with any of our coaches before. I need to see where my office is, but really, it's just it's understanding where we've been. It's getting with the senior leadership and finding out how we can take the next step. Tommy left this place in great shape, but told our coaches, when I get back here, I'll get with them one-on-one, and we'll start working through all the strengths and weaknesses and our opportunities to grow. But until I do that, I'm not gonna have a clear understanding yet of how we take the next step. But that's a part of the plan, is to dive in and understand what the things that are going well for them and where we need to grow.
Piggybacking on that real quick, any kind of timetable when you will be here?
Dr. Geis and I were talking about that today a little bit. I'm going to get back with this happened, within 48 hours. So I want to get back and close out properly with UCF, have a chance to sit down with Danny and make sure I don't leave him hanging or any projects hanging. There are enough talented people there that'll pick up the slack, and it'll keep going. So I hope that we'll have that decision here in the next couple of days. I'll reach back out to Dr. Geis and make sure he's comfortable with it. But I would imagine I don't want to lock myself in, but I would imagine in the next 3 weeks or so.
Time for maybe one or two more questions. Corey?
Eric, have you ever applied for an athletic director position anywhere else? The second part of that question would be, to explain a little bit more about the attractiveness of Louisiana Tech and why this was a place that you wholly would want to end up.
So I had 2 other opportunities over the last 3 years. I'm trying to be really intentional about those. Because we were having a great time in Orlando. I was growing. Again, as Dr. Geis mentioned, Danny was continuing to invest in me to prepare me for this opportunity. So the very first one I went through, without naming the schools, I swung a haymaker at it, and just to see what the process was like and where I was falling short. And so went through that, and then recently went through another one. And what they allowed me to do was to really work on my messaging. Right, I think that being finalists for those showed me that I was close. But when I saw this one and the similarities, being a private, a public institution and having competitive sports, I always hoped that my first AD job would be in this conference. And so it started to line up really perfectly. I knew it was the right one when my house sold in 2 days, and I thought this is lining up perfectly.
Anything else? All right. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. Maybe we get an opportunity to get you and your family up here with Dr. Geis and Kathy Geis, and put your hat on and take a couple of pictures.
Sounds good. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.